All the years of training will be crucial in the critical 5 seconds of a patient's life.
To me, it is not just a career, it is also a lifelong commitment.
My father was in medical field and I wish to follow his footsteps in making a positive impact on people's lives. What I do will not only affect the patients, but also their loved ones, their family members, their friends, and the community.
KPJ Healthcare University College is focused on running healthcare programs. We have programs like nursing, pharmacy, physiotherapy, medical imaging. We have a total of about 35 training programs at KPJ Healthcare University College. We offer the full range of degrees from diploma degrees up to PhD. At KPJ Healthcare University College, we are training healthcare professionals. And what is critical in this training is the exposure to clinical settings. The real clinical experience, in our case, is gained at our own KPJ hospitals.
I'm an orthopedic surgeon and a lecturer at KPJUC. Coming to KPJ Healthcare University College will give you first-hand experience in working with consultant trainers in the hospitals.
KPJ Berhad has a total of 25 hospitals, about 1,000 consultants in the hospitals, 4,000 nurses, pharmacists, physiotherapists, all the range of health professionals. They are excellent private hospitals with state-of-the-art facilities. These are excellent environment, not only for excellent patient care, but for excellent teaching and training of our students at KPJ Healthcare University College. Our country, Malaysia, has shortage of medical specialists. Now, with the facilities available and the number of consultants available at KPJ hospitals, we are offering the training of specialists in Malaysia at our university in combination with the hospital that we have, and also in combination with the cooperation of University Kebangsaan Malaysia.
Since I entered medical school, to become an ENT surgeon is always my ambition. I feel very happy to join KPJ Healthcare University as this program provides me an alternative pathway to become an ENT surgeon.
The Masters of Otorhinolaryngology and Rhinal Surgery is the master's program in the KPJ Healthcare University College. It's a 4-year program which follows UKM, USM and UM, a conjoined curriculum. The hallmark of this program is one-to-one hands-on apprenticeship, whereby the candidate will be posted to the various KPJ hospital and they will be supervised by the experienced consultant in that hospital.
This is a breakthrough in the training and teaching of specialists in the country, because this is the first time that training of specialists, medical specialists in the country is being allowed to be conducted at the private hospitals. And this is a testimony of the excellent facilities and the talent that we have in both the KPJ University and also KPJ hospitals.
I choose to go to KPJ because for me, among the other universities, KPJ is the best and they provide a good job opportunities when I finish my degree course.
What I like most about KPJ is it gives good opportunities to students and exposure to professional environment.
Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Salam sejahtera. Very good morning. Selamat berpuasa everyone. Okay, welcome to KPJUC live webinar, e-learning in higher education institution, students' roles and responsibility. I hope everyone is safe and stay motivated, even though we are still struggling in COVID-19 MCO. Inshallah, the challenge that we are facing will make us stronger to survive. My name is Muhammad Imran Muhammad. I'm from KPJ Healthcare University College. I think most of us here know KPJ based on hospital. I think Mr. Kiman also said to me, oh, I don't know KPJ as a university. But okay, inshallah. So I would like to thank to our invited speakers. I know they are very busy. Every day I can see that they are invited to be a speaker, especially in terms of e-learning and also computer technology. And okay, first of all, just while waiting for a few others to join us, I think I would like to introduce our invited guests. Okay. Okay, so we have Dr. Muhammad Helmi Norman, is currently the Deputy Director of Teaching Innovation and Learning Technologies at the Center of Teaching and Curriculum Development, UKM, and also a Senior Lecturer Assistant Professor at the Faculty of Education. His research interests are in areas of digital learning. Okay, he was appointed as a visiting scholar at the Chuah Center for Computational Neuroscience, University of California, San Diego, USA. Okay, and was awarded a visiting postdoctoral fellowship by Erasmus Mundus at the Faculty of Science and Technology, Bournemouth University, United Kingdom. Okay, as a master's trainer for Educator 4.0 under the Ministry of Higher Education, and also he is an Apple Distinguished Educator and also Apple Professional Learning Specialist. Terbelit lidah nak baca ni, panjang. Okay. So Dr. Rosemaliza is an assistant professor at the Kuliah of Education, IIUM, International Islamic University, Malaysia. She holds a PhD in Career Technical Education from Virginia Polytechnic and State University, USA. She received my Master Education from the International Islamic University, Malaysia, Instructional Technology and Bachelor of Science in Computer Engineering from NYU Polytechnic, USA. Okay, began professional career as Senior Project Management, Sales Engineers, and Panasonic System Engineering for 6 years. Okay, engineer, yeah, before lecturer. Okay, she served as a teacher in private education. Okay, active conduct learning events in learning design, 21st century teaching and learning approach, instructional technology strategies, and is also accredited learning facilitator for Take Charge Professional Learning Facilitation System. Okay. All right. Our Mr. Chuah from UNIMAS, currently as Deputy Director for Center Applied Learning and Multimedia, and academic researcher of more than 8 years in the area of e-learning, cognitive linguistics, learning design, English language teaching, has won several awards nationally and internationally for various innovation of teaching and learning, mainly in the realms of technology, enhanced learning, assistive technology, and learning analytics. Okay, his YouTube channel is one of our reference, because especially on e-learning and also the computer technology. Okay, we follow our Sifu in Malaysia, many YouTubers now. Tomorrow, Dr. Rose also will have a session on the YouTubers. Okay, I think all speakers can switch on the mic just to make sure everything is okay. Okay, so thank you again for all our well-known speakers. And also I would like to thanks to our participants, which currently we have about 166 online, okay, right now. Okay, mostly students and also academicians from maybe from various institutions, government and also private lah. Okay, so as we know, COVID-19 has turned our lifestyle 360 degrees. That's why everyone, every institution has come out with webinar, online training workshops, and also it affected our teaching and learning activities, as well as in our university, our nature of teaching and learning, we are focusing more on well, we are focusing more on clinical session. Majority of our institutions, majority of our programs are in medical and health sciences. So we send our students to hospital. We have about 26 KPJ hospital throughout Malaysia. Okay, and to face the real situation, to treat patient and so on. Okay, but I noticed that we have several seminars, live webinars, and also workshop to academicians and also lecturers how to conduct the online class. But I think that's why we come up with this live webinar. We also need to have input for our students. Yes, at our university, e-learning, although it's not new, it has introduced a few years back, but because our nature of teaching and learning is maybe more on medical, we need a human touch to the patient. So we need the advice from our expert speakers. I think all of our three speakers are from education background. Okay, so I think we will start with Dr. Rosemaliza Mohd Kamalludeen as our first speaker, followed by Mr. Chuah, and the last speaker will be Dr. Muhammad Helmi Norman. Okay, and then we will open for Q&A. So whoever have any question, you can put in the chat area. Yeah? So in bahasa or in English. So kita nak santai lah, because majority are students. Bahasa pun boleh, English pun boleh. Alright, I think let's start with our first speaker, Dr. Rosemaliza Mohd Kamalludeen. She will cover on the topic of healthy habits and ethics in learning. It's a good start for introducing the healthy habits, especially in e-learning. Perhaps maybe we'll be facing the new norm in this teaching and learning for a longer period of pasca COVID-19. We don't know yet. Yeah, maybe we take 1 or 2 years, or maybe we completely change our teaching and learning. Okay, please welcome Dr. Rosemaliza. Floor is yours.
All right, thank you very much, Encik Imran from KPJ. Thank you very much, everyone, for being here. Assalamualaikum, very good morning. How's everybody? I see some familiar names. I don't see your faces. I see familiar names. I see some of my students, colleagues. Welcome. It is great that you all are here at 10 o'clock in the morning, going through this webinar. Excellent, excellent start. And I hope all of you are coping well at home or wherever you are. And I hope that all of you can stay with us until we finish, okay? And we will, inshallah, make it a fun time for you. Okay, now I'm just going to open up my slides, all right? Oh, my slides are gone. Where's my slides? Okay, let me see. Never mind. So, why are you all here this morning? That's the question, right? I would like to hear from all of you. Why are you all here this morning? Okay, now there's going to be a poll. I'm going to publish the poll and you guys answer the poll, okay? So why am I here in this webinar this morning? There are 5 answer choices there. Are you going crazy over online learning? Is that why you're here? My friends, my lecturer made me come. Oh my gosh, that one spikes up, the first one. I just love webinars. Nobody loves webinars. I love learning. Excellent. Okay, your lecturer made you come, huh? Okay, that's good. Good lecturers you have, you know, they are very caring about you. Right now, Mr. Kiman and Dr. Helmi, right? Oh, you just love learning. Excellent. You're going crazy over online learning. Has everybody started online learning yet? I think most universities have started sometime in April, right? And then it's going through right now. Good. Okay, now I would love to meet your lecturers who made you come, because they are my kind of lecturers, okay? So well done. For whatever reason that you are here, for the next 1.5 hours or so, I would like everybody to make this time beneficial for you and take at least something home, okay? So you can take notes, you can have conversations in the chat box, you can send questions to us, but at least take something home. We want to make your time worthwhile here, okay? Now, I'm just going to upload again my slides because I suppose it sort of disappeared somehow, okay?
Sorry, Dr. Rose, you can use share screen.
It's okay. It's uploading. I think it shouldn't take long. It's just some visual to keep you engaged with me. It might be boring to just see my face for the next 20 minutes, so at least distract you from my face. Okay. Okay, I'm just gonna start the slides. Okay, now give me a thumbs up if you see my slides in the chat box. Just say yes, I can see the slides or something in the chat box. Okay. I think nobody is complaining that they're not seeing my slides, so I can go on. The first topic of today, because we are going to have this webinar for 1.5 hours, and it is good to start off with healthy habits. How do we now transition from a face-to-face session to an online session like this? I mean, it's crazy enough not to see your lecturers face-to-face. I know everybody misses everyone right now, but now how can we adapt? How can we adapt to this new situation? First, we need to look at some habits that we can incorporate into our learning so that, you know, your online experience will be a memorable one, just like face-to-face, okay? So things I want to learn from this seminar. You have already told me, most of you, your lecturers made you come. You love learning. If you could type into the chat box one thing that you would like to learn from this webinar, one thing that you would like to take back, what would it be? Just type in into the chat box, right? We share with each other and see, you know, if we can actually exchange or we can share with each other the things that, you know, that perhaps each of us know already. It just needs some sort of reminder for everybody. Okay, what is the one thing that you would like to learn from the webinar? Type into the chat box. Okay, I'm going to give you 20 seconds. All right. Excellent. Everybody can see the slides. That's good. Right. I see. Oh my, I see my Sifu here. Prof. Abdul Karim Alias. A shout out to you. Thank you for being here, Prof. I see my students. I see Rafi'ah from UKM. She's like probably Dr. Helmi's #1 fan or something. Okay. Okay, Prof. Karim says he wants to learn how to be an effective online learner. Sabrina, how can we make e-learning interesting and effective? As we just can't sit in front of the screen too long. That's right. But watching movies is okay, right? Like 3 hours of Bollywood movies, okay. How to make learning and teaching online super fun. This is also my student. Hello, Anis. And Mr. Zaid is here. Zaid Ali Al-Sagoff. He's like an online guru as well. He wants to be inspired with new ideas, really want to know what should I do along this period as students. Yes, Rasmiati, that's a very, very valid question. Everybody is struggling right now, right? Okay, whatever that you want to learn from this webinar, from any other webinars for that matter, it's because we're all in the same boat. We're all in this period of time where it's very exciting and scary at the same time, because believe me or not, nobody really knows what to do. Isn't that exciting? So this is a time for us to explore, and there is nothing wrong with whatever that we all are doing. Yes, Nick Azizi, that's my colleague right there. Dinda is my student. Morni, share their new inspired ideas beneficial to everyone. Excellent, excellent. Okay, so now that we have established that we have so much of things that we don't know, it is a good start for everybody to just explore, right? And we have to do it together. We are all in this big learning community. It doesn't matter whether we are lecturers, we are students, you guys are students, some of you are even parents. We are all in this together. Like everybody's in the dark. Nobody really knows what to do. I believe that my colleagues here, Dr. Helmi, Mr. Kiman, and then some of you in the audience who are e-learning experts, can testify that there is no one single theory to explain the phenomenon that we're going right now. There is no one perfect framework as to how things should be done at this point of time, because we are all doing our best to accommodate to the situation. Okay? Now, while we are all in this dark, we have to go back. We have got to go back to the fundamentals. Why are we learning? Why learn? What does it mean when a person becomes educated? Can you tell me, when you get educated, what happens to you? Right? What happens to you? When I go to school, when I go to university, when you go to the university, when you attend a training session, when you attend a webinar, what do you expect to happen to you? Right? Why get started in the first place? Why learn? If you can type into the chat box, and we'll have the discussions a little bit more two-way, so that you guys won't get bored looking at my face. Okay. Rafia says, how to stay motivated in this online learning journey. Yes, Nura Ashikin says, need to explore and trial. Yes. Okay, Yuziana, you said you want to improve your skills. Yeah, when you get educated, you want to improve something. Hyria, interesting. The more I learn, the more I don't know. Wow. That's a very interesting take. You want to be more successful in the future, Jared. Yes. You see, the thing is, when we get educated, something inside of us change, right? When people get educated, you become from a person who doesn't know anything to a person who knows something. It's new knowledge. Or a person who doesn't know how to do something to a person who is very skillful, right? I don't know perhaps how to sew a dress. When I attend the training, now I know how to sew a dress. So that's in terms of building my skills, something to do with my hands, right? Or you become from a person who is ignorant, who doesn't feel anything, to somebody who is very empathetic. Ada perasaan belas kasihan when we learn something new, right? So when a person gets educated, that person becomes a better person. That is the fundamentals of education. Now, it doesn't matter where you get your education from. The point is what you take back. What is the essence that you learn from that session that can make you a better person? Now, that is the essence of education, right? Kausalya said, because I can gain more knowledge. Yes. Muhammad Afan said, progress. Now, all of this is making you a better person. Rauda wants to change. Excellent. So all of this is a process. Now, that is learning. What is different now? The difference is only the medium, how we are learning. Learning in its fundamental makes you a better person. How to get there? Now our path has changed. That's all. But remember, the fundamental is still the same. Your motivation is that you want to change, you want progress, you want to become a more useful person, you want more knowledge. Now that is the essence of learning. Now, why do you want to become a better person? Right? What is your belief? Why are you here wanting to become a better person? It is because when you are a better person, when you are more knowledgeable, when you are more skillful, you will be able to make other people's lives better. Now, that is our purpose, why we are here. That's why we have to make ourselves better so that people can benefit from us and we can help others. Now, that is the whole fundamental, the whole philosophy of learning. All right. Now, some words to inspire you. You can read there. Learning is a treasure that will follow its owner. You can continue reading it, right? So this is a Chinese proverb. Now, some words to inspire you so that this will stick in your head. Learning is a treasure. What makes us a bit crazy right now is just that we are transitioning into something new, transitioning into a new way of doing things. So how do we overcome that? Nobody says online learning is easy. Nobody says, nobody. I don't hear Mr. Kiman saying it. I don't hear Dr. Helmi saying it. I don't hear Mr. Imran saying it. I don't even hear Prof. Karim saying it, right? Prof. Karim. See, the thing is, it requires, learning, doesn't matter whether it's online, offline, anything. It requires commitment, passion, persistence, endurance, drive, anything, name it. All of those adjectives is required when you go online. Just that maybe you need to shift your energy a little bit from that regular face-to-face seeing people to being more virtual, being more 21st century, maybe, right? We have always been talking about 21st century education, how it should be, using technology and stuff. Well, right now, I suppose COVID-19 gives us a push. Everybody is saying that. COVID-19 is pushing everybody to their limits and making us accelerate. But we cannot accelerate blindly. That's why the webinars are here, so that we can do things more efficiently, right? We are all exploring this together. Okay, now, online learning is not easy. So what are some of the tips that, all of us can probably practice and learn from each other, our best practices, all right? So now let's go into a few pointers on how to make online learning pleasant and fun for everybody, So I know most of the audience here are students. I'm addressing you students here. I was a student once and I have attended online classes, but of course not at this scale, right? And this crazy scale, everybody is going online. But the first and foremost, I would like to stress is you have to have a dedicated workspace. That one you have to, okay? Because this dedicated workspace puts you in that mode, puts you in that, in that position where, okay, I'm here, I am learning. Have a desk, it doesn't have to be fancy, but it is dedicated. Make sure it is neat, it is tidy, make sure it is pleasant to the eyes, to your eyes, at least, yeah. Make sure the chair is comfortable if you have a chair. If you're working with like a little laptop table, make sure it is big enough for you to put your laptops. Make sure that your room is not too hot, it's not too cold, okay? But there is a dedicated workspace. Some of you might have more comfortable rooms than another person. You might be sharing a room with your siblings or something like that, but you have to have a discipline. This is my territory when I'm learning, okay? There has got to be a discipline there. Set up your dedicated workspace, okay? Have all of your internet ready, have all of your pens and papers and stuff ready. You know, when we learn online, it is good for you to have some sort of a writing thing, like your pens and pencils and notebooks and stuff as usual, because you see, when we were younger, right, when we were kids, how did we learn? How did we learn when we were young kids? Do you remember when you were 5, 6, 7? What did you do when you were 5, 6, 7 years old when you want to learn? Somebody can type into the chat box. When you were 5, 6, 7 years old, what did you do? Mostly. Perhaps we write, we draw. Yes, excellent. We play, right? Any of you play? Writing, drawing, chanting, well, coloring, playing. Yes, Rafi, playing, drawing, reading. So all of these activities requires us to use which parts of the body? Coloring, yes. Which parts of the body do you use to do all this? You do a lot of writing, you do a lot of color. I used to jot down every single, you sleep, Mama Rashidi, okay. That's fun way of learning, right? Set up a house in the bush besides my home, Fuzan, excellent. Okay, now, when we do all of these wonderful activities, yes, you use your hand, you use everything, right? You use your eyes, you use your hands, you use your ears, you use everything. I mean, some of you even eat the tai chicha, right? When you were small. Yes. Okay. So you're using all of your senses. Now, we are now adults. We are older. We need to use all of our senses again. We need to use each and every channel that we have in our body so that learning can be absorbed easily. You know, if it doesn't go through the eyes, it might go through the ears. If it doesn't go through the ears, it might go through the hands, through writing. It might go through your sense of smell. That's why your dedicated workspace must be pleasant, must be nice. You know, if you have like a very rotten food next to you, I mean, this is Ramadan, I know, and then you're learning, that smell is going to anchor inside your brain with that particular piece of knowledge that you're learning, you know. So you have got to open up your senses and make that experience for your senses a pleasurable one. All right. So that's why I'm bringing in all of your senses here. You can write, you can draw, you can have all of your colors, have something nice smelling next to you, you know, maybe some those diffusers, you know. So make that learning experience a very, very sensory one. You know, we all have 5 senses. Some say we have 6. I would say 5 plus 1 senses, right? But yeah, make sure your dedicated workspace caters to your senses. Okay? And then second, after you have got all your space nicely done up, figure out how you learn best. You know how you learn best. Do you take notes? Do you need to listen? Do you need to record? Do you need to talk to somebody? If you need to talk to somebody when learning, like me, then have a chat box. It's okay. It's all right. I mean, when you go to lecture halls, when you go to class pun, you're not like 100% paying attention to your lecturers, kan? You pun ada chat-chat juga. I mean, tahulah, I'm a lecturer. So, it's all right. If you need to talk to somebody just to, you know, clarify certain things, it's all right. It's all right. It's a good thing to have sessions recorded if it's live sessions, right? If you're just watching a video, that's better. You can pause, you can rewind and stuff. But make sure you know how you learn best so that you can get the most out of the learning material. Okay, and of course, follow a schedule. You need to follow a schedule. Don't go like, today I wake up 11 lah, ayah. Today I wake up at 8 lah, tomorrow. No, have a fixed schedule, just like as though you're going to campus, coming back to campus and all that. I know it takes a lot of discipline. It's hard for me too. It's hard for everybody, but it is something new that we can all practice. Yeah. Have alarms on your phone, but make sure you follow a schedule that will keep you sane. It will not drive you insane. It will keep you sane. Have a routine. Routines are good. We go back to when we were children. We have routines. This is our nap time. This is our school time. This is our eating time. Go back to being a human. All right, a real human. Okay, follow a schedule. Make sure. And then participate actively in all classes. Don't just sit there and listen, whatever, I can watch this later. No, participate. Like at least type in something. Yes, I like Supartis, Supaat. I like. Okay, that's good. That means you're participating, right? All these people who are on the chat, that's good. Participate actively, because that shows us that you are actually processing something. You're processing something when you are active. Okay, at least write something pun is okay, right? And when you're watching a YouTube video that your lecturers post, or when your lecturers post a slide for you to look at and all that, type in something, respond and reply. It's okay, right? You have to show that you are actually responding. Then we know that something is going on with you. Okay, if nothing is going on with you, that is very, very worrying. Very worrying. We don't know what's going on with you, like, very mysterious kind of thing. That's so scary. Okay, Noor Hafizan, yes, chat box is interactive. Yes, I like chat boxes. And then ask questions, please. Ask questions. No questions are not worth entertaining. Your question, you might think that, oh my God, I feel so stupid. I have to ask this question. There might be 15 other people who have the same question that says, oh, this is also so stupid. But then that is the most important question to be asked. It's all right. Just ask your questions. No worries. Okay. And also you have to stay connected. Do not go MIA, missing in action, or, under the radar kind of thing. Don't do that, because we need to know that you're alive. Okay, staying alive in online class is important. We need to know that you are there, because the lecturers need to connect with you. You need to connect with us. Okay. Answer some of the WhatsApp messages, or just send hi madam, how are you doing? Hi doctor, how are you doing? That's all. I'm here. I am keeping up with your work. It's okay. We like that. I mean, some lecturers might, just respond with a thumbs up. Some lecturers might just respond with like this, the emoji. Some lecturers might say, okay, but at least keep yourselves visible so we know you are there. Some lecturers have got like 200 students. Having 200 or 100 students in a live face-to-face class pun kita tak kenal semua. Now online lagi kita tak kenal, macam mana kita nak kenal you? You have to stay connected with us. Okay? Make sure you remember that. You want us to remember you, right? Okay? And then keep an open mind. This is when absorbing new knowledge, new information, or when you are sharing. Both parties, lecturers and students, have to keep an open mind, so that, the osmosis is going on. I know there's a lot of nursing, medical students in here. Okay, keep an open mind. The intellectual conversation has to go on. Students, it is not a one-way learning. It's two-way. It's two-way, okay? Keep the conversations flowing and hold yourself accountable. Accountability. kebertanggungjawatan pembelajaran itu terletak pada anda. Okay? Yes, Jeff, osmosis. Kebertanggungjawatan itu. Learning responsibility. You are accountable as well. We, the lecturers, we will facilitate as much as we can, as best as we can. Okay? Deva Sri, how to avoid from getting stressed out. And then Irfan, some students who heavily rely on hands-on practices, how can they get the most from their online learning period? Okay, now, to answer these two, right? Deva, have breaks, avoid getting yourself from stressed out, have breaks. You know, all of this, there's a schedule, right? You are allowed to call your friends. You know, one thing that kept me sane is, you know, every morning I go online with my friends, just regular friends doing, you know, reading Quran together, and we have small chats afterwards. That happens for about 1 hour. It's just very casual. We are keeping each other intact. You know, it's not a webinar like you learn something is very formal or meeting. No, it's just friends doing something in common and having a chat with each other. That helps us a lot. You know, Deva, if you have good friends, call them up, go online, and then, you know, find something to do together, maybe sing. You know, you can sing together, or you can talk about a movie together. That will keep you probably not getting stressed up so much. Okay, and then Irfan, hands-on practices. Yes, that can be tough right now. I would advise lecturers to devise some activities, some learning activities that students can do hands-on at home. Right. For example, I have given an idea to a tuition center before because they don't know how to do this. I said, you know, kids are not learning for exams anymore right now because there's no exams, right? So I told them, if you want to teach math, maybe teach math through art, through, you know, doing origami, and they can teach angles, they can teach keluasan and all that. So things like that. Yeah. And then, oh, Devi, that's good. I share hobby with my friends. We share pictures of our recipe. Excellent. All right. Now I'm going to go to the next slide. Okay. I'm going to just touch a little bit about ethics. Now we have talked about healthy habits. Now we're going to talk about ethics. Online, how do we communicate? How do we communicate with each other? How do we communicate with our lecturers? Okay. You have to be professional in your communication. When you type in your messages to your lecturers or your friends, please use proper spelling. Proper spelling. Don't use WeChat. I don't understand your WeChat. I mean, most of us are like Gen X. Gen Y maybe not so bad. I don't know. Dr. Helmi, you're Gen Y, right? So you have to spell it out properly, please. You know why? Because we do not want any messages being miscommunicated. Kita tak faham apa you cakap. Okay? Jadi je penuh-penuh. It's okay. Take your time. Kita semua kan ada banyak masa sekarang ni. Use proper language. And start with proper greetings. Assalamualaikum, madam. Hello, doctor. How are you? You know, it gives you a little bit of edge. Yeah. Oh, Jeff, you're Gen X. Yes, I'm Gen X too. Yay. Have proper greetings and watch the time bila you hantar message tu. Betul tak? You nak hantar pukul 2 pagi tak apa, tapi lecturer tu tak jawab lah pukul 2 pagi. Alright, mungkin dia tengah tahajud ke apa ke kan? Kita tak tahu. But watch the time, watch all of this. Professional communication. It goes a long way. Alright, dak WeChat, ya betul. Ada baby boomer dekat dalam ni. Okay, excellent. Now, make sure that you use proper language and very pleasant language, okay? Say thank you, could you please clarify, you know, all of these nice phrases. It takes you a long way. And then make sure you follow all deadlines strictly. Kalau ada deadline, follow, please. my students, they know I do not compromise on deadline. You tak hantar lah. Okay, that's it, 0. They know. I mean, I've been doing that since like 10 years ago. Follow all deadlines strictly. Okay, it shows professionalism. Now I put this in, no viraling of anything, please. Do not viral anything. Alamak, lecturer ni cakap macam ni, screenshot, viral, go crazy. No, please, okay? And you have got to respect each other's privacy, okay? Whatever that the person conveys in the classroom and all that, don't take it out of the context. Do not misquote and all. These are all good social media ethics lah. Okay, I know most of us are communicating via social media. Okay, so that's on ethics. Yes, it's me. Proper language is good. Mr. Chuah is Gen Z. Oh my goodness, no, I don't think so, Mr. Chuah. All right, so I'm going to leave you with this. Live as if you were to die tomorrow. Learn as if you were to live forever. Okay? Now, this is the kind of mindset that we want to have as an online learner. Boleh? All right, so I think I have taken a lot of time. That's me and my students who graduated last year. They made it last year. If this year habislah tak ada konvo. And you can all follow me on Instagram, and I have my email there if you have any questions. And I'm going to pass it over back to Mr. Imran. I hope you've learned something from my session and enjoy the next 2 sessions with Dr. Helmi and Mr. Chuah. All right, excellent. Back to you, Mr. Imran.
All right. Okay. Okay, thank you, Dr. Rosemaliza, for your interesting points and tips. Banyak yang saya belajar as Generation Y. Actually, okay. So I like about the points on start with your own dedicated workspace. Yeah, especially I know some of our students staying with their siblings, tengah buat kuih raya dan sebagainya, ya. So yeah, it's very challenging to stay at home and while participate in e-learning activities. Okay, so without further ado, I would like to move to the second speaker. So we will invite Mr. Chuah, okay, for the topic of the general coping for students on engaging general coping strategies for students to participate in e-learning activities. Okay, so Mr. Chuah, I'll leave the floor to you.
Yeah. Okay, thank you, Dr. Rose, for setting the a very awesome introduction to the session. Again, later on, Dr. Helmi will have the toughest job too, top all of us. But anyway, I'm Chuah Kiman. My full name is Chuah Kiman, but you can call me Kiman. I'm from University of Malaysia, Sarawak. So basically, when it comes to Sarawak and even Sabah and all that, we always have so-called the perception that we have the toughest challenge, dealing with students with no connection and all that. So I'll be sharing a bit on the key issues that students are facing. So if you are facing the same problem, then maybe it's good to share it out so that we know your problems, right? And okay, let me share my screen first. I hope you can hear me. Let me just share my screen. Okay, are you able to see my screen? Can you see my screen? Hello, okay, just need to know. All right, are you able to see my screen? Just Just give a thumbs up because I can't really see everyone. Okay. Okay, I'll be continuing with this e-learning key issues for students. But before that, as usual, a bit of activity for you to do. Just go to this link. If you have your phone, just go to wooclap.com. If you're using your browser to enter this webinar, then just create a new tab or just start a new tab and then type in wooclap.com/kpj, all right? wooclap.com/kpj. I would like you to tell me what worries you, the most about online learning. Just 1 or 2 words will do. What worries you the most? Apa masalah yang paling serius sekali yang anda sedang hadapi sekarang lah? The problem that you're facing now, or what worries you the most? I see some, posting in the chat earlier, some of the concern, but you can also post it in the chat if you want to, or go to this wooclap.com. Okay, I'm gonna show the. Are you able to go in? Just wooclap.com/kpj. Boleh, huh? Can you go in? Maybe I'll just show it from here. I think it's easier for you to see. Yeah, I have 2 now. Just go to wooclap.com/kpj. If you have your phone with you, just type in wooclap.com/kpj. If you are using the browser, just create a new tab and then just go in and type in your words. All right. I have about 3 persons now, 4 counting. Go in first. You can even do it on the chat if you want to, but I have to switch from different. I have exhausted your online stream, data connection, internet connection, no internet access, and all that. Okay, go on. Give me more. I have 15 words now, maybe more than 15, maybe. If you're missing, this is the link, wooclap.com/kpj. Okay, now let's take a look. Out of 23 so far, let's take a look at the word cloud. Right, awesome. I love this emoji. All right. Students, I think the student is probably the first word. A lot of people are talking about internet connection, right? I see a lot of concern about internet because different variation, accessibility. Ada yang kata tercicir, headaches, lack of participation. Okay, let's see. More coming in. I have 30. 41 now. Internet connection. You see, all this, your concern is always internet, right? Internet connection, internet, and all that. Okay, fine. I think we get the picture. Based on this word cloud, it's kind of out of about 50 plus so far. Your main concern seems to be your internet connection. I think the word student just now is because you're talking about your students' participation and lack of participation and all that. If you're talking about lectures, you're worrying, the same thing, students' internet connection and all that. Good, you can keep it coming if you want to. I'm going to proceed with my presentation so that I don't take too long. Yeah, I'm going to share what I've experienced dealing with online learning with my students and also what students have told me. I start off with this picture because I love this kind of like this picture telling me how my students are doing online learning, in the midst of all this forest and jungle in various parts of Malaysia. And the thing is, when we talk about rural, remote, right, automatically we think about Sabah, Sarawak, and all that. Actually, this one is in Kedah, right? It's in Kedah. So I think we have to change the mindset a bit. When we talk about rural and remote, it's not just about Sabah and Sarawak. It's actually the whole Malaysia. We have so many places, even in Peninsula, in Kelantan, in Kedah, even in Selangor itself, we have places or areas where students are dealing with poor internet connection or poor coverage. And all this really kind of kills the motivation to learn, right? I think we all know this. But what I want to tell you, this student in Kedah, for example, she kind of like tells me a lot about these lines that I always believe in. If it matters to you, you always find a way. And what happened was I gave her a task on doing, because back then, this is like five years ago, I was telling my students to practice the usage of English, because they don't really use English at home. So I told them that, why don't you send me 1 minute of you talking English every week, something like that. So what happened is, I thought all the students, when they're back home, they wouldn't do it, but to my surprise, all of them did it, even though they have poor connection and all that. What happened is, like, this girl, she recorded her 1 minute video, and then she passed the phone to the father whenever the father went out to town where the connection is okay, and then the father sort of helped her to upload the video on the LMS, or our learning management system. I didn't know about it until I asked her, because I was asking her, do you have any internet connection with this? And then she said no. So she told me how she did it. So I think, to my surprise, I think, like what Dr. Rose mentioned just now, if learning is your concern, is learning is what you matters most to you, right? Then any obstacles or any problem, we'll try to find a way. Of course, there's certain things that we cannot solve, but we'll try to find a way to slowly deal with that kind of issue. So I'm going to have 3 C's today, 3 key issues only to share. And then later on, I think Dr. Helmi will be sharing with you more on how to move yourself from a normal face-to-face learner to an online learner. So I think he will cover more on that. But I'll just highlight some issues that I've discovered so far. Like, number one is the connection. I think it's really, really number one. And all of you just now has proven that connection is always the concern. But when we talk about connection, we always focus the internet one. But actually, online learnings also deal with the other two connection, your peers and your lectures. I think you miss your peers a lot, right? Your classmate, rindu dengan kelas in your class. That kind of interaction that you get in class is missing when it's online learning, kan? If you go for Zoom or all this webinar, like what we're doing now, webinar jam and all that, you don't get that kind of connection with your peers, and you don't feel like you are there because you're at home and then you're just looking at the screen. The same thing with your connection with your lecturers, kan? You don't feel like your lecturers is teaching you now. Like, even now when we are talking here, you might feel like there's still a gap, there's still a distance, even though we are so close with you, closer than we are, in face-to-face mode. For example, in face-to-face mode, like in class, you might be sitting at the back of the class, right? But now we are just right in front of you, but you still don't feel that kind of connection. So I think, when it comes to online learning, these are the things that we are feeling, and yes, these are the things that we have to overcome, right? And issue number 2 is concentration. Dr. Rose mentioned a lot about how you can stay focused, stay focused on your things that you should be doing in online learning and all that. So I'm going to talk about these 3 things a bit: studies, family, and money. What I noticed when it comes to concentration, the studies is one, but the family and money is, I think, one area that we always forget to deal with. Family, for example, as much as we want to do online learning, sometimes our family condition may not allow us to do that, right? For example, your house may not be conducive enough for you to have your own spot. For example, I have students who have like 4 or 5 siblings in one room, and then they have to share one small table to do homework, and some of them work in the living room and all that. These are the issues that we have to deal with sometimes. And I think having that conversation with your family members is good. Do kind of like a rotation thing. If you have siblings who are also studying, do a rotation. Like now, for example, you are joining this webinar, and then you can tell your sibling, I'm going to join this for 1.5 hours. Later on, you can use the internet. Later on, you can use the laptop and all that. If everyone is using at the same time, then you will feel that kind of rush. Like, for example, your younger brothers will be playing games, for example, streaming on the line, and then you are struggling to cope with your lectures in the Zoom or WebEx or whatever webinar that you're joining, right? So these are the things that you have to have that kind of conversation. I know it's not easy. It's never easy, because different families have different expectation of what we should be, how we should behave and all that. But having that kind of healthy conversation with your family members is really, really important, actually, especially your parents. I know some of you are also struggling in terms of the financial part, right? Some students will be helping parents to sell during this Ramadan, for example. You're selling food and all that to earn more money, because maybe the income is getting lower and lower and all that. So these are the issues. It's not easy to cope with this, because when you're at home, you kind of get distracted with all this thing. If you are in the learning institution, let's say you're staying in college itself, then you tend to, even though you are, you have all this concern, but it's not really disturbing you that much compared to, being at home. I grew up in the kind of family as well. It's very hard to really study at home, even without online learning. You don't feel like you want to be at home sometimes. So these are the issues that I think we have to focus on, and try to your best to talk to your parents, talk to your sibling, deal with it. If you can't, then maybe you have to really talk to somebody else, who maybe your lecturers or maybe a counselor or whoever that you can trust to cope with this kind of situation. I have a few students who actually told the parents they want to move to the relative's house, because maybe the relative has better room for them and all that. So these are the things that they are doing. These are the arrangement that they are doing. And I believe some of you are facing the same problem too. And issue number 3 is contraction. I have 3 C's: connection. Number 2 just now is the concentration. And number 3, the one that I noticed happening after, more than 2 months of, close to 2 months of all this PKP, MCO, movement control order, even in global scenario, you notice this contraction. Contraction as in we're squeezing everything, or we're shrinking everything to become smaller and smaller. In terms of learning, for example, last time in face-to-face lecture, your lectures can be doing things for 3 hours, non-stop. You get really excited, you get really pumped up, you want to do a lot of things. But suddenly in online learning, everything squeezed into maybe 1 hour, maybe 30 minutes, maybe 10 minutes, because it's of the micro learning thing, and you cannot do it too much online because you get very exhausted online compared to face-to-face. Because face-to-face environment, you can move around, you can relax a bit, but in online learning, somehow you can't. It's a bit ironic, because by right at home you should be freer, but unfortunately you're not, compared to in the class, for example. So contraction in 3 aspects that I noticed. Number 1 is mindset. We are shrinking our mindset to the fact that online learning is something that we have to cope. And at the same time, we are looking things at a very smaller outlook now. We shrink our view on things and look at the smaller things. And then we also contract in terms of development. As a student, for example, you're going to be a nurse, you're going to be a doctor and all that. But this kind of online pressure, during this period of emergency, remote learning and all that, you realize that you are shrinking yourself to become so, so small that you forget about the greater picture. So you have to open up a bit. Even though we are doing online learning, you still have to imagine that you are growing and you are developing as a person, you're developing as a future doctor, as a future nurse and all that. So you really, really have to have that kind of outlook and mindset, so that you don't feel so small, you don't feel contracted, and you're not growing. I have a few students who told me that, sir, my degree is nothing now, I don't learn anything from my degree. You get what I mean? Like after spending like 7 weeks before that face-to-face, now they're dealing with 7 weeks, another 7 weeks of online learning. They say, my degree is nothing because I don't get what I wanted. I don't get to get a hands-on experience. I don't get, my lectures are missing, all right, and things like that. So they don't feel like they're growing. But I told her, some of the students as well, if you change the mindset a bit, actually you're getting more than what you deserve in a face-to-face environment. Actually, if you look closely, last time you are solely depending on your lectures to provide. Now you get the whole global people, the community helping you, right? You can go to so many sources. Like now you're listening to this webinar from me, from UNIMAS. You may not be from UNIMAS, but you're listening to me talking about all these things, and you get to have a different perspective on things. And I think this is the best time for you to really grow, to really change your mindset, to change the outlook on things, and try to grow bigger and bigger to become a better person. Like now, future doctors may not be able to get a hands-on, but you can always practice it in a different way. Do some checking on online practical skills, and try to practice on your own. And not, maybe you don't have the equipment, but try to simulate certain things if you can. Then if you have the chance, maybe I know some colleges that allows some students to also participate as frontliners, housemen and all that. If you have the chance to go out a bit, that's the chance for you to really do some hands-on if you can. But again, I'm not asking you to take risks or whatever, but if you have a better mindset or better outlook on things, you can actually grow very, very fast during this period and becomes a really, really better person, right? And I want to end with this one. Just now, Dr. Rose ended with a very nice quote, but I end with this one because one of my students who had to walk for about 30 minutes up the hill to this particular small kebun, all this plantation that the grandparent had, to get a connection to send me a text telling me that she couldn't join the session of class, but she would download the slides and everything. But what happens was she didn't take a picture of the struggle. She didn't take the picture of how hard it is. She took this picture for me and said, look at this beautiful sky. Then it makes me realize sometimes if you look up to the sky, you realize that the sky is indeed the limit. Because if you really want the learning to happen, nothing can stop you, right? And I believe all of us having all this capability that we are blessed with, we can overcome this together. And it's not really easy. Nobody says it's going to be easy, but emergency remote learning, emergency remote teaching, whatever you want to call it, requires us to change our mindset a bit, try our best to become a better learner, to become a better teacher if you're academics, to become somebody who can make change to ourselves as well as our community. So I'm going to end with this. Keep calm, keep learning. Don't be bothered too much about the negativity around us. Try to stay positive, not the COVID-19 positive, but positive mindset to really embrace this sudden change that we have to encounter. Try to look at it as a bigger picture and try to become a better learner, all right? I think I can't really see your chat at the moment. I'm going to minimize this. If you have any question, I'll deal with that later. But my key takeaway is don't really, don't take all these negative things to become like an obstacle for you. I think there's so many things, bothering us. And if you really, like me, I listen to a lot of stories from my students and all that. You really feel like if you want learning to go on, you really will take whatever necessary, moving yourself to town, getting a decent connection. I had students who actually wanted to borrow money from me to get a better package for internet. As I told these kind of students, you don't have to do that. Actually, we can support you, but to that extent, a lot of students are taking a lot of initiative, a lot of effort to overcome this kind of problem. And if we have everything around us, we have all this, we have all these facilities around us, and we keep on looking at what we don't have, then we will never really progress during this period. Nobody wants this to happen anyway, right? Since it's happening, you as a learner should take that initiative and work harder. If you know that online learning, live streaming like this is not useful for you, get the slides, get the material, learn, and try to overcome, various obstacles that we can. And I believe a lot of us are trying our best to help you, and you should also help yourself as a learner. All right. I think I'm going to end that. I'm going to pass to Dr. Helmi, who will do more on the practical part and how you can shift yourself to become an online learner. All right. I'm going to pass to Mr. Imran first, I think. Oh, okay.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Kiman. Yeah. Keep calm and learning. Yeah, Mr. Kiman is always calm, steady. I wish to be always calm like him.
Okay.
So it's very good points on coping strategies. Yes, students have the difficulties on the internet connection, concentration, construction of the course. That's all the feedbacks they are received from the students. Itu memang complaints yang biasa kami dapat lah as a during the PKP ni ya. Okay. So without further ado, I would like to shift to the third session, Dr. Helmi Norman. Okay. So he will cover the topic on moving from a face-to-face learner to an online learner. Yeah, this is very significant topic to the most of the students. Yeah, especially our students at KPJUC. Okay, Mr. Helmi, the floor is yours. The microphone, Mr. Tell me, mic sound. Okay, can you refresh the page? No, cannot. Belum. Just refresh the page. Try. Okay, right. No sound. Refresh the page.
Okay, hi.
Yes, okay, right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, cool. Okay, thank you, Mr. Imran, for having us today. So let me share my screen. Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Imran. He's the director of KPJUC, and thank you to Dr. Rose and Mr. Kiman for the inspiring speeches before. So I'll have to top that. So it's hard. Okay, now the talk that I'm going to share today is from a face-to-face student to an online learner. So I'm Helmi, the Deputy Director for the Center for Teaching and Curriculum Development from UKM. I'm also, so here Mr. Imran has introduced me. So again, I would love to again tell you about this, start with this comic, as I usually start with the talks now during my webinars. Okay, so this talk is by the Grandpa and Helmi. And I think why I like to show this video or why I like to show this comic is because there's actually not too much difference between online and face-to-face learning. Okay, let's try to break the ice by looking at this comic. Okay, so in face-to-face teaching or learning, you will need a car to go to university. And for online teaching, I think you will need to internet. You have to have internet, as many has said during Mr. Kiman's word cloud just now. So you need internet, and I think that's an essential part of online learning. And in face-to-face teaching, you need a physical space, but in virtual or online teaching and learning, you need a virtual space. So you would have to have a laptop or a tablet, and you would maybe use online platforms like Zoom and others that you are using. And also we have to have digital content and online content, right? So again, I'd like to start with a recipe. Before this, I had a talk with I think Prof. Karim is here, so we had a talk on grabbing attention courses. So I shared the recipe for that, and today I'll be sharing a recipe for students how to change from a face-to-face student to an online learner. So the first ingredient is always mindset. I think the mindset is also, I mean, you need to change your mindset in these conditions. So with the previous norm, it was this type of learning. You had students, you had your teacher in front, you had the professor in front, and then you had a crowd. Okay, and here it is. Okay, you had the crowd and all the bean bags there. So, and you had the devices here, and so but now in the new norm, you're stuck with this, right? So this is a picture that I took from my students. So see, so you're stuck with this iPad, or you're stuck with the tablet, you're stuck with the the technology, and here you only have the virtual space to see. So how do you cope with that? So Mr. Chuah, he gave a good talk on how to deal with that. And so going to ingredient 2, so how do you stay digitally active? And so in the previous norm, it was like this. So with students here having fun on the green screen, here having fun with the iPads, right? Okay, so now with the new norm, what's happening here? Actually, we can still meet online, but it's very different. So this is the discussion I had with my students yesterday. I think it was yesterday. We had 3 classes yesterday. I don't remember this class. I think this was during the afternoon. So here you can see 11 meetings now. So actually, you can also have group discussions online and on online learning, but it's a different scenario. And for ingredient 3, you have technology and space. So in the previous norm, it was here. You have these, you can go outdoors. You can have the technology outdoors and do some drawing. Going to the here. The student is at in Maxis building. But again, these are the previous norms. So the previous norms, this can happen. But now we are in the new norm, and this is what you have. Like Dr. Rosemaliza was saying, so you have this table, and you only have, maybe you have one laptop or one iPad, and then maybe you just use your phone, and then maybe you have the pencil, but and this is all right, and maybe you have some lightings, okay. But again, this is the new norm, and this is something we have to consider. And shifting to that, having that good technology, I think is essential in moving towards online learning. All right, so ingredient 4. So I have 4 ingredients that I want to share with you today. So it's spice 1, right? So it's familiarizing with synchronous learning environments. All right. So this is very important. So here I took one of Dr. Rose's just now talking with us, and I think it's important to have these, skills on familiarizing with asynchronous. So how do you answer polls? How do you do online? So these are the important things that you have to have a look at when you're in online learning environment, right? SPICE 2 is familiarizing with asynchronous learning environments. So you have synchronous learning environments such as Zoom. Now we're using Webinar Jam, and then there's a lot more. Okay. And with SPICE 2, familiarizing with asynchronous learning environments. So you would have to have, you can have a look at how to do animations, how to do drawings on the on your devices, and how to do that digitally. So that's one of the things. Okay, let me show you some of the things that you can do with your digital space. Let's say, for instance, you have a paper. So this is my paper in Journal of Medical Internet Research. So you can have a look here. So here, press the PDF button. So when you press the PDF, right? So this is on the iPad, and now having softwares that is useful for digital learning is important. So here I'm going to use Notability, and let's import that. And if you have, where's Notability? Okay, so if you have Notability, you can have these, let's say, okay, you want to highlight. Okay, so you can highlight, you can draw, all right, and you can erase, So there's a lot of things you can do, and you can actually point. Okay, here, see, pointing, using that, and maybe record. Hello, I'm trying to record something. So see, there's a lot of things that you can do. So yeah. Okay. Record. Hello, I'm trying to record something. So I think these are the important things that you can't see that screen, can you? All right. Sorry about that. I just put that on slides. All right. Okay, actually, I was using this. Oh, sorry, not that one. Yeah, so I was using this Notability, and I was showing you how to actually do this with these tools here, right? So you can have the pencil, you can have the the what do you call it, the pointer tool, the recording tool here, and yeah, you can have lots of fun with Notability. And one more thing I think is important is also having the right softwares for management of your online activities. Okay, let's say Trello. Where's Trello? Okay, sorry, software. Okay, so I think this is one software that is useful for you. So it's called Trello, and you can use it for organizing online digital organizing. For instance, here I organize with my students the postgraduate activities, what we're having, and then maybe a couple of my students, Dr. Zubair, Dr. Hafiz here, having, let's see, when maybe you can put your milestones here, you can share your theses, you can share your journals, have the, for instance, the dates for online activities. Okay. All right. So I think the last ingredient that I want to share with you is to upskill via online communities and certification. All right. So here, if you are here with this webinar, I think it's a good initiative or a good session that you're in today. So upskilling via online communities, and then you can go have a look at the Apple Learning Community Malaysia. This is a group that we created, so we have around 1,000 members, and we would like to grow. So we have a lot of videos there, recordings there, and I'll give a shout out to Prof. Karim. So he's having a session tomorrow with these distinguished speakers. You can have a look there, go on to these webinars, and I think another shout out to certifications that you can have online. I think you can go to the Apple Distinguished Educator website. You have a lot of things to do there. Apple Teacher, get your certification. I think this is the time that you can go for certifications, and you can have you can also go to our MOOC, massive open online courses. This is the time to go to Coursera, go to Open Learning, and have your certification, upskill yourself. So we have so here's our UCAM MOOC. We have around 200 students, 200,000 students, and then shout out to my course. Okay, you can have a look at how to design blended learning courses, and I think these are the essential things that you can do to move from a face-to-face student to an online learner. With that, I think these are my 5 ingredients for today to making that move from a face-to-face learner to a distance or online learner. With that, thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Helmi, Mr. Gadget Guy. Okay, so very good points on the recipe. I hope the students can mix it up, cook it well on the recipe. Yeah. So to shift from the face-to-face to online learners. Yeah. Change your mindset. Some of good points there, and also, yeah, Mr. Helmi said tomorrow we have YouTubers from Prof. Abdul Karim. I will try to join that. Also, encourage our students to join, because I can see many YouTubers nowadays. Ya, lebih ramai. Ada yang masak pun boleh jadi YouTubers. Learn and teach from the heart. Okay. All right. So I think all the speakers have presented in their session. Now we go to the question and answer. Okay. If you have any question, please put in the chat. I think, okay, thank you. Tell me, all right. So I just saw in my some of our group WhatsApp. Mr. Helmi is very handsome and so on. I think the appearance also.
I think Mr. Chuah is more handsome. Look at the shirt.
Factors in e-learning, appearance, voice, and so on. Yeah. Okay. Question from Dinda Dana: how to avoid burnout in online teaching and learning? Because sometimes this vastness of resources is overwhelming. How to avoid burnout? Yeah. So maybe you can pass this to Rose.
Yeah, Dinda was my student from a few years ago. I think she's a teacher now, and she's transitioning into online teacher, I suppose. Dinda, yeah. And how to avoid burnout? How do you avoid burnout when you are doing face to face? You know, burnout happens. We don't want burnout to happen, but sometimes it does. You have to. It's work-life balance again. This is new. I mean, people are saying that it's new, but you need to have a break. You need to be on a schedule. You need to get back onto your lives. Cook, go watch a movie, leave your work aside, have a break for yourself. That's how you avoid burnout. And also, you have got this wonderful community right now that we are building online. We are connected. It's just that we don't see each other physically, but we are definitely more connected. So you don't have to depend on yourself for your resources. You can always talk to your friends, go online, you can chat with us, you can share the burden of your workload, trying to find things to do for your students. That can be shared. Do not be stingy with your resources. So you've got to talk to each other. Connect as humans. Don't connect as robots. Don't connect as machines. We are all humans. That's how you keep yourself sane and keep us human in the learning and teaching process. So avoiding burnout is the same as how you would do it before. You've got to talk to people, be connected with people, do what you love, take breaks, just have one day not doing anything, just sleep, or just watch movie, or do crazy things with your friends online. Like I said, you can sing with each other, share recipes. I think Devi just now was sharing recipes with the friends. So do things like that. Take your mind off work. Work is not your life. It doesn't define you. You define who you are. Okay?
Okay, right. Thank you, Dr. Rose. Yeah. So we have a few more questions here. Okay, what webinar platform do you prefer? Captain Zaid, what webinar platform? Okay, we are a private institution. I think I just answered this question. So we use Webinar Jam. We are not rich as a government institution, so just afford whatever we have. Okay, but I think most of our e-learning experts maybe can share during tomorrow's session, YouTubers and so on. And also we have Nurul Hasana. How about the students who cannot or do not know how to use the new apps? Okay, I think all the apps we go to Mr. Chuah, Kiman, or Dr. Helmi.
Tell me lah.
Tell me, look. Okay.
Okay, so yeah, that's a good question. I think the educators have to know how to use the apps first. So I think there's a lot of online tutorials. Now is the time, again, as I said in the recipes, and then I think resonated by Dr. Rose and Mr. Kiman. So I think the educators themselves have to upskill. Now is the time. You have a lot of time for cooking. You have a lot of time for cooking, physical cooking. So you have to have physical, digital cooking also. So you have to cook ingredients. So I mean, for online teaching and learning. So I think before this, maybe Zoom. How do I use Zoom? What is Zoom? What is Zoom? I mean, what is Webinar Jam? So how to use that? So I think these are the skills that are important, and that is for asynchronous. For synchronous teaching, and then maybe for asynchronous that I show you on the iPad. I think on your laptop, which softwares does fits you. I think if I show you everything, it doesn't make sense. So I think, and then I think one crucial feature or app that you have to use is screen recording. So screen recording helps a lot. I mean, this is how you do an app: screen record, press this, press this, press it, and then share with your students. I think students are very quick in this sense, but I think giving recordings is the most powerful tool that we have on online, because this is recorded session. You can just give your lectures. If students don't have internet connection, like yesterday, there were a couple of students who didn't come. I just gave the link, and then you can, revise there, and then you can have a look. And then if you don't have internet connection, you can have a look on that. I think those are the important features and apps. Back to you.
Mr. Kiman, any suggestion on that?
If you're talking from lecturer's point of view or academics point of view, I think we always have to ask the student first, the learning curve. So like my case, I will tell them like, okay, look, next week we're going to use Zoom. Are you okay with that? If they say most of them cannot, then I will choose alternative. I think we also have to have that kind of conversation with our students lah. We kadang-kadang we short sendiri kan, we think that's the best app, tapi students semua tak dapat masuk or they cannot go in. So if you're talking from lecturer's point of view, that's it. But if you're talking from a student point of view, if you know that the lecturer is using that kind of tool a lot, let's say a lot of lecturers are using Zoom, then it's high time for you to also learn about it, because that to me is an added thing in your resume also, right? So at least, you don't have to put in the resume Zoom. Like what I mean is, next time when you apply for job, a lot of companies are now moving online, work from home kind of approach. Then you can tell them, I'm comfortable with Zoom. I've done a lot of classes on Zoom. That will be your added point. That's from student point of view, I think. So any app actually, like for example, if you're learning statistics, your lecture suddenly bump you SPSS, right? You have no choice but to learn it, because that's the industrial norm, for example, right? So from student point of view, try your best to learn it. This is the best time because you're still young. Even if you're not young, this is the best time to learn things. Yeah, that's my take.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Kiman. I like one of the points here. Lecturer need to learn more and adapt before apply to students. Yes, I agree with that. There are many training workshops to the academicians. It's up to the academician or lecturers to upgrade themselves before applying to the students. Okay, I will. I think Dr. Rose, can you choose your? I think one of the question there related to the ethics and also.
By Khairia, how do we go about the students who obviously take advantage of this transition from face-to-face e-learning, from face-to-face to e-learning, where they become over-complacent with tasks and assignments? And then it relates to Shahidano's question, what will happen to the students who got low non-internet connection? How will they participate? Some of the students can take this as excuses. And I've also got some private questions from students who says that, they are overwhelmed with the assignments that's given by lecturers. So now I've got the questions from both ends, from the lecturer's end and from the student's end. Like I said in the beginning of the presentation, this is all new to us. Nothing is wrong and nothing is perfect. What we need to find right now in this period of time is we need to strike a balance. What is the right amount of assignment to be given to students? And students need to realize as well, how much time do they need to put in to their studies? When I teach my students, I always begin the semester with calculating their student learning time. What does 1 credit hour mean? 1 credit hour means students need to spend 40 hours a semester learning that particular subject. So katalah kalau you dapat kerja untuk 1 credit hour, you kena kerja 40 jam. So that is what 1 credit hour means. And most courses are 3 credit hours. So you will need to spend 120 hours learning that particular subject. Okay, in one semester you might take 7 courses. So kalau katalah you ambil 6 courses, jadinya 3 credit hour kali 6, 18 credit hour. So berapa jam you kena belajar satu semester? So I did all of this calculation with my students, how many 100 hours you need to put in to your studies. Dedicated time, kiranya kalau you dibayar gaji, you kena bayar gaji ikut jam ni tau. Okay, kalau you tak kerja 1 jam, you tak dapat bayaran. So I do this calculation and then I do it for 14 weeks for my students. 14 weeks and then I kira satu hari you ada berapa jam? 24 jam. I tolak dia orang punya tidur, dia orang punya makan, dia orang punya semayang sunat, dia orang punya nak pergi ke masjid, nak pergi semua-semua ni, I tolak satu hari 8 jam. So you boleh tidur, makan apa semua 8 jam. Dah tolak, they find that, you know, in one 14-week semester, you actually can have the whole Saturday and Sunday off, like doing your own thing. You can watch movie, you can go and play your games, you nak main Dota ke apa ke you nak buat, while keeping up with your work, with that credit hour. Memang cukup masa. Okay? And then the assignments that the lecturers give pun is based on the student learning time. Therefore, it is not actually overburdening you. The amount is just right. So the question now is, how do we manage time? Now, of course, what I said applies to when you are on campus, when you have people around and stuff. But now when you are at home, macam mana you nak cope dengan dekat rumah pula? You rasa macam, ya Allah banyaknya kerja nak buat, because you feel that you are alone. Again, go back to the human connection. You can communicate with your lecturers. Your lecturers are there for you. You can communicate with your friends. Okay, simulate that experience. So of course, this is again an adjustment period. Both parties need to work out on a very good amount of work that needs to be done, a very good amount of face-to-face, synchronous sessions. Seminggu sekali kelas ke, nak 2 minggu sekali ke, nak buat sejam ke, 2 jam ke, that has got to be worked out, and it would be great data for people like me, for people like Dr. Helmi, for people like Mr. Chuah, to have all of this data. This works. Seminggu 2 jam, synchronous class is optimum for this type of lesson. So these are all good data, we can publish all this lah. But of course, everybody has got to play their part in, you know, putting into the recipes lah, and putting your ingredients into the recipes. See which one works best. Okay, so from both parties kena find that solution together. Okay, kita jangan, kalau apa ni lecturer tak nak dengar lah, kita rasa macam stres sangat, and then lecturer pula cakap, student ni complacent lah, tak nak buat kerja dan sebagainya. When we need to understand each other from each other. Maybe it's too much for the students, maybe students tak rasa macam benda tu penting sangat. Kita tak tahu. We don't know. We have to ask. We have got to have this open communication. Remember, keeping an open mind so that we can come to a solution.
Yeah.
Alright.
Thank you, Dr. Ros. I think I will let Dr. Helmi or Mr. Kiman just take one question each before we end our session.
Yeah, maybe I will add to what Dr. Ros is saying just now. As I showed you, using online softwares, project management softwares such as Trello, MasterTask, I think gives students a free space, because if all your assignments are stuck in your head, dia jadi cognitive burden tau. Nanti you macam stress. Macam banyak je benda nak buat. Alamak, ada 10 assignment daripada 10 subjek I ambil ni. So I think nanti you will get very stressed because all of it is in your head. And then alamak, bila nak hantar? Tomorrow I have 3 assignments, and then 2, and then 3 coming day. So I think you put it in paper or you put it in a software. I think it helps you manage your stress level, and then put schedules, because it's different because you're at home, and before this you're going to class, let's say from 9 to 12. Okay, but now you're at home, you're cooking from 9 to 12, let's say. Okay, but you have to change. But where is the time that you spend to go to class, and then maybe 9 to 12 in the morning? Now you shift it 9 to 12 at night. So you have to have that allocation, the same allocation time, I think, is for learning. So you have to manage it well. So managing cognitive and then managing your activities, I think, is important in the new norm.
Okay, yeah, agree with Dr. Helmi. Okay, Mr. Kiman, any?
I'll answer this about this. Wait, let me check. This question from Jasper. What will you do when you reach bottleneck? I think this one Dr. Rose has mentioned. I have to be frank, because when the news about the shift or the transition to the online learning happens after MCO, around early March and early April, I have to be frank with you, a lot of lecturers are actually doing a lot of try and error. That is the time where they try out so many things on the students, and students suddenly felt so overwhelmed because, oh, my lecturer suruh, use this app, masuk app betul pula, satu phone tu penuh dengan app, because kejap nak guna Zoom, kejap nak guna Webex, lepas tu yang tu nak buat Kahoot pula, yang ni nak buat Wooclap pula, macam-macam. So to be honest with you, during that period memang a lot of try and error. I have to be frank that if I'm a student pun memang I will be very stressful, because suddenly lecturers is expecting a lot of us. Dulu in a face-to-face environment, you just have to turn yourself up in the class, that's it, duduk, diam-diam, lecturer just show everything to you, right? Using PowerPoint or whatever, and then you can just participate using all these tools. But suddenly, because when you're not around, lecturers cannot really get that kind of connection with you, so they have to trial and error. So I think from your part, you also have to understand that lecturers are also struggling juga. Not every lecturer is comfortable with technology and all that. And they are also trying to figure out what is the best way for you actually. Macam saya lah, I have to reach out to student. I said, okay, can WhatsApp okay? If you cannot do this using Flipgrid, can you do it using WhatsApp, for example? So they, a lot of try and error. And if you're not comfortable with this, suddenly you feel like semua bottleneck kan, a lot of things coming in. Ni baru satu lecturer. Lepas tu ada seorang lecturer pula, oh, I want to use ni, I nak guna webinar jam, I want to use, can you go into webinar jam? You tengah struggle dengan Zoom, tiba-tiba esok webinar jam pula dah. Lepas, I can understand the frustration, because lecturers kadang-kadang they just focus on completing their task. I think I have to be honest with you, if I'm a student during this period, I will really get really frustrated. But I think now, what I noticed, the trend now, after entering about, few months after dekat 2 bulan of PKP and MCO, I realized that slowly lecturers dah get the hang of it. They already know what is the best for you. You pun dah voice out a lot of you are talking about burnout and all that. They also know it's burning their time and all that. So a lot of lecturers are trying to do pre-recorded videos. They buat YouTube, they upload. That's why a lot of lecturers now pergi YouTube, sebab they know that having YouTube allows you to rewatch over and over again. You don't have to participate in a synchronous kind of live class like this and all that lah. So I think if this thing goes on for like another half a year, I think by then you will be like, okay, I'm fine with this, let's just move on. In fact, maybe after 6 months, you will see like, should we do this? Just forget about face to face, because you're comfortable in the environment already, right? We have reached that zone where we just have to go online and do it, because now we are still trying to test and then now slowly we are moving to the zone where we are okay with that. So I think from student point of view, you also don't feel like we are pressuring you. Just have to bear in mind that lecturers are also struggling. They're also doing a lot of try and error for you. You also have to say lah, sometimes we try to do try and error, we don't get any input from you as a student, right? You senyap, the moment we start to use the app, you start to voice out, become very angry. Padahal when we asked you earlier, you senyap, right? You didn't say much about the tools, right? For example, kalau I tanya you nak guna Zoom, semua senyap. I assume semua okay. Tapi bila Zoom, seorang je keluar, 2 orang je keluar. Then you discover things. So you have to play your role as a student juga, to have that conversation with the lecturers. I know some lecturers may not be positive, may not be open to it, but at least you try to voice out first. And then slowly you try to improve the situation. I think that's from my view lah, right?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Kiman. I'm very agree to that. Yeah, lecturer also struggling, students also struggling, but I think compared with the first 2 weeks, 3 weeks, starting from the MCO, I think now a lot of improvement. Okay sikit lah awal-awal kan semua students, how many apps do you need to download? Every lecturers using different apps, Okay, so let's
Actually,
try.
one of my student kan siap nak pinjam duit, nak beli handphone baru. Dia kata handphone dia tak penuh and all that. So I said, bila kita fikir, betul juga. Ni baru soal lecturer suruh install kan. Belum lagi lecturer lain nak install semua tu, right?
Dapat
Those are the issues. If they don't tell us, we don't know, right?
Yeah. So, okay, I think we cannot answer all the question. You can keep post the question to us. Maybe you can directly email to the speakers, or maybe speakers want to share your Facebook, your YouTube, your email address.
Yeah, I shared my Instagram tadi kan. Social media.
Social media. Okay. Or maybe you can put in here.
Yeah. Can put here,
yeah, boleh.
Oh, type.
Alamak. I type lah kot dekat chat box.
Type boleh lah, type T tu. So on top, maybe Dr. Rose, second part Dr. Mr. Kiman, and last on the bottom part, Dr. Helmi.
Okay. And just to share, I think one thing, Cik Imran, we lecturers also go crazy sometimes. I think me and Mr. Chuah, the other day with a couple of colleagues, we actually did a don't rush challenge on YouTube. Tahu tak? Kita orang buat tau. It's just to have some fun. Kalau you all nak tengok, Mr. Chuah boleh share ke link tu?
Saya pun nak cari, nak cari jap.
Ayah ada. Sekejap.
Share.
I put in the chat box. This is our don't rush challenge. We get crazy sometimes, you know.
To stress out.
Siapa nak tengok, yeah.
Okay, don't rush challenge, yeah. I saw already the video. Tengah masak tu, yang last part.
Kena tengok ending tu. You have to wait until the ending.
Yeah, the ending tu. Ending part.
So, yeah, we did something crazy as well. Yeah.
Okay, right. So fb.com/chuakiman.
Macam mana nak type?
Helmi Norman. Just choose text T.
Text. Oh, okay. All right. Mine is. Okay.
Okay, you can share in the chat box as well. Okay, so whoever missed the points from the online session, we already recorded this session and we will upload in the Facebook and YouTube.
Okay.
And also we will pass this video to the speakers as well. No copyright, you can upload to their YouTube as well if they want to. Yeah. Okay, all right. So I think because today is Friday, so I would like to thank again all participants for joining us here. And also I would like to wish Selamat Hari Raya, even though it's one more week, 7 hari lagi nak raya. Tak boleh balik kampung. Mr. Kiman pun tak boleh balik Kelantan.
Tak boleh.
Okay, so thanks to all speakers. I know you are very busy. Thanks for being with us. And all the CFUs in e-learning that join us today. Students, yeah, we love you all. Please, we are also struggling, but that all the challenge will keep us more stronger and stronger to survive. Yeah, you are a special generation to face this challenge during your study. Okay, thank you everyone. Enjoy yourself and keep safe wherever you are. Assalamualaikum.
Waalaikumsalam.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you.